5 years ago, I published a video that made my channel blow up. My brutally honest review of Etihad Airways Airbus A380 first class apartment. It was my first and last time trying it, and while most of the flight was amazing, 20-year-old me was also disappointed by a few things, clearly. Fast forward through a pandemic, through trying Etihad for the first time since that infamous flight earlier this year, to them finally bringing back their A380. It is now time for Nonstop Dan to stop being nonstop scared to fly Etihad and give their first class another try, because surely a lot has changed in the past, wow, 62 months since I last flew it. Brutally honest review of Etihad's A380 first class apartments round 2, here we go. London Heathrow. The worst airport in Europe. How glad I am to be back. The night prior, I arrived on British Airways, which was quite the adventure. You can check out a full vlog from my fascinating experience flying the British Airways plane you probably didn't know existed on my new channel Nonstop Dan Vlogs at the link below or in a card now in the corner, as well as linked in the pinned comment. Am I a little nervous after my previous video? Yes. Do I think everything will be fine and it will be an amazing flight? Also yes. So it's time to head to Terminal 4 at Heathrow. The last time I flew from Terminal 4 here was the last time I took this exact flight down to Abu Dhabi over 5 years ago. We all know that Heathrow is a hellhole overall. It's such a shame Etihad only flies their A380s to London right now. Sometimes you gotta make sacrifices and fly through Heathrow anyway. We checked in Gothenburg yesterday, so we already have our boarding passes, which means we're gonna head straight through security and check out the Etihad lounge. Well, it turns out the lounge isn't the easiest to find. So finding the lounge is a little confusing, even though I've been there before. It wasn't on the directory, but it was on the sign overhead. So the Etihad lounge is kind of hidden and mysterious and exclusive. In a situation that seems almost too good to be true, the lounge is right across from our gate. The fact Heathrow managed to pull off something this convenient deserves a bit of praise. Anyway, after chatting with the lovely Joanne at the lounge front desk, it's time to explore the lounge that I wasn't especially keen on last time. On a positive note, there is a beautiful restaurant with a la carte dining. This is the menu. There's also a pretty good buffet. It's really impressive that all this is also included for business class passengers. The rest of the lounge is fine, but not something I'd arrive early to experience. Every time I'm in the UK, where I was born and lived until I was 9, I try to get some Marks & Spencer's, but they don't have one in Terminal 4. There's not really time for that anyway. Boarding has already begun. Our Etihad beast, donning my favorite airline livery in the world, by the way, features 3 classes of service, with the upper deck being entirely premium cabins. I get so many requests to publish these seat maps, and trust me, I'm working on it, but for now we have a beautiful upper deck to look at. There are 70 business studios at the back, well, not really the back, most of the plane, with a lounge at the front of that cabin. Stay tuned to see the lounge because we need to talk about it. Then at the front we have 9 first class seats. Why? Because this, of course, is the world famous residence, which is no longer considered a separate cabin from first class but can be booked for an additional fee. Besides the residence, by far the best seats in this cabin are in row 3 and 4, since these are by the window and can be combined into sort of a double suite, as you'll see. Meanwhile, row 5 is not only all the way by the aisle, but also only has 1 window. I can't wait to take you on board to share my updated impressions of this cabin coming up next. Welcome. This is one of those cabins that blows you away the moment you step on board. I'm such a sucker for good boarding music, and Etihad's music is amazing. So pairing that with this desert-colored interior, I am ready to step right into the desert when we land. I don't care if it's 45 degrees Celsius. I'm led to my seat, offered a pre-departure drink of choice, and settle in. I mean, where do I even start? We could talk about the ridiculous amounts of storage space, whether in this private closet, your own vanity, more on that later, a storage bin beneath the vanity, storage beside your seat, storage under the ottoman. I could go on. If you're a control freak like me, here are the seat controls. There is also charging and a remote around this area. Now let me show you the different seat options, because whether or not you're actually in the market to fly this product, it's kind of a weird flex to be able to tell someone, hey, you should avoid seat 5C whenever you're flying Etihad's first class apartments. So compare this, where the seat is far from the window, to this, where the seat is close to the window. Now behind here, 4 kilo is 3 kilo. The exact seat on this exact plane that I flew in my previous review. Both flights on registration Alpha 6 Alpha Papa Golf. What a crazy full circle moment. Oscar is in seat 3 Alpha, a backward facing seat that faces mine, 4 Alpha. Both are as good as it gets, and the only seat I'd personally consider superior to this in first class is Singapore's A380 Suites. Sorry Emirates Game Changer, you're great too, but this is some tough competition. One thing that's really cool is this ottoman, because you see that? 2 seatbelts, meaning potentially 2 people can join you in your apartment. Of course, they also have to be flying first class. You can't get 3 people in this seat for the price of 1. Now let's settle in with some lemon mint, a hot towel, and some dates. Etihad has delicious lemon mint, and again, paired with the dramatic boarding music, makes me so pumped for what's ahead. After that, some Arabic coffee is served, another favorite. The service structure has changed, or should I say been slightly downgraded, with the absence of an onboard chef since I flew it last in 2018, but it is still so good. I am enjoying every second of this. I decided to peruse the menu, the gorgeous, shimmering, thick paper menu. I feel like this is a good time to remind you that all my videos are self-funded and the airlines have no involvement whatsoever. Whatever I'm saying is my honest, unbiased opinion. Etihad has a really fun dining concept where for some parts of the meal, you can customize it and choose your main, side, and sauce. It's also very impressive to have 5 different mains on a 6-hour flight, especially considering there are only 5 people in first class today and everyone needs to get their choice. The drink list is also very impressive nowadays, and you won't run out of interesting things to drink on board, that's for sure. Boarding is done 20 minutes before scheduled departure, but of course, Heathrow being Heathrow, we're told we need to wait an hour before we can push back. Personally, I'm not complaining because I cannot think of a better place to wait out a delay. The crews serve a drink of choice with some nuts while we wait. Not that it's necessary to order water since you have your own cooled mini bar down here. Suddenly we're pushing back, it almost feels too soon, and we depart for Abu Dhabi. We have so many amazing things to look at, from the amenity kit to this gift bag to the food, all coming up after takeoff. I opt to eat straight after takeoff, but before that, I have a few moments to check out the entertainment, which is obviously all inferior to the mighty A380 tail camera. Etihad's E-Box, such a random name, has a huge selection of entertainment from movies to TV shows, with multiple episodes of each show. The accompanying headphones are maybe not as luxe as you'd expect, but they're more than good enough. Besides, all passengers get free Wi-Fi. Initially, the Wi-Fi doesn't connect and I realize, oops, it's because my loyal sponsor NordVPN is activated and the plain Wi-Fi thinks I'm somewhere else. Quick pro tip, always deactivate your VPN before connecting to plain Wi-Fi and then activate it again before you start browsing. But Dan, won't a VPN slow down my already slow airplane Wi-Fi connection? In my experience, not with NordVPN, but maybe that's because they're the fastest VPN in the world. Why do I always keep my VPN on nowadays? Well, besides safety, there are a few niche uses I recently learned. Firstly, my VPN is always set to the US nowadays because when I'm on Instagram, it tricks Instagram into thinking I'm in the US, thus unlocking all the features that aren't available in many other countries such as story captions or Instagram music, etc. If you've been traveling and you notice some of the features you usually use disappear, that is why. I've also been using NordVPN for online shopping. Let's say I'm in the UK, but I want to buy something for when I get to the US. If I make a search when I'm in the UK, I'll only get UK-based results. The easy solution, set NordVPN to the US, repeat my search, and ta-da, all the results are US based. This is especially great if I want to compare prices in different locations. This is in addition to the obvious benefit that NordVPN protects your private information so that people can't snoop on you online. Get a 2-year NordVPN plan and get 4 months free at nordvpn.com/nonstopdan or the link at the top of the description. And don't worry, it's risk-free with Nord's 30-day money-back guarantee. So the Wi-Fi speeds are pretty good and it's a fantastic perk to have free unlimited Wi-Fi in first class given that most airlines don't even offer this. As I wait for my meal, I start to sweat a little bit and realize, oops, there are no air vents of any sort in this apartment. Not the best for sleep or staying fresh on a long journey. Thankfully, that's not much of a problem since you can just take a shower and wash it off. Yes, many people tend to forget Etihad has showers on their A380 probably because they're much less aesthetic than on Emirates. We'll check those out after lunch is served. The fun begins with this. I mean, how stunning is the presentation? This is a butterfly pea mocktail served with heated nuts, wasabi peas, and olives. I am always down for olives, but wow, Etihad's olives are next level delicioso. The meal begins with 2 appetizers, both beautifully presented. The first one, closer to me, is my vegan special appetizer that I pre-ordered, and the second is Etihad's Arabic meze. Etihad used to have the best meze in the sky, which sadly isn't the case anymore. Not sure what changed, but hey, at least it's all very visually appealing. During the meal, I'm taken care of by the lovely crew. I can tell this crew cares about their passengers and they're professional, friendly, and helpful in every way. The main course is also presented beautifully, but it's not an exaggeration to say that this is literally a handful of food at most. Not a huge portion, but this tofu curry is savory, sweet, and spicy in just the right way. Finally, dessert, some blood orange sorbet, and a fruit plate. Overall, this meal is nice, but not quite in the league of some other first-class products. Still, eating tasty food and this gorgeous sweet is about as enjoyable as it gets. Just after takeoff, I had asked the crew to prepare the shower for when I finished the meal, so you know what that means. You're all coming with me to shower. Let's go. Okay, you're not actually coming with me in the shower, that's for the OnlyFans, but welcome to the Etihad First Class Lavatory, the one without a shower. Right next door is this, the Etihad First Class Shower Suite. This occupies half the space of Emirates Shower Suite since Etihad needs to fit 2 lavatories here, given that the other side is taken by the resident's private lavatory with a shower. You get 5 minutes of running water, which you can easily turn on and off to conserve it, and what an incredible experience. The feeling of stepping out of a shower feeling fresh and clean in the middle of a flight is unbeatable. I change into my pajamas, which is provided in the gift bag, along with some slippers before returning to my seat. No words. When you close the doors, put on your incredibly cozy pajamas, and take in the ambiance, this is one of those what is life moments. I take this chance to unbox the Amenity kit from Acqua di Parma. Stunning. When Oscar returns from his shower, we remove the partition to create this half-double bed. It's nice you can easily adjust the partition so that even if you don't want to sleep next to your companion, depending on who you're traveling with, you can still watch a movie or talk in utmost comfort. Now a trigger warning for the haters. Here's an outrageous first world problem, but for as nice as this bed looks, it's hard as a rock to the point where I would choose any other first class bed instead. Even after closing the blinds and getting cozy, it almost hurts to lay on my side when trying to fall asleep. The bedding is fantastic, but a thicker mattress pad would really go a long way to make this suite entirely perfect. Cause after all, how much do looks matter when it's not comfortable? The privacy of the suite when the door is closed though, chef's kiss. Also, if you want to do your beauty routine after your shower, whether that's a full face of makeup or putting on some Nivea for Men moisturizer from the drugstore, this in-suite vanity is the place to do it. I decided to rest for a little while before checking out the onboard lounge. This is really a gimmick, so keep watching. Although I find Etihad's A380 first class incredible in almost every way, there is no denying they took one look at Emirates and said, we want all the same features they have, all while offering a completely different seat and layout. This means many things don't feel fully thought out, like this onboard lounge. On both my flights on Etihad's A380s, I've never seen anyone sit here because it's simply not an inviting place to sit. Compare this to the Emirates A380 onboard bar, which is an excellent social area for talking to crew or networking with other passengers. Sitting here just feels awkward, and in my opinion, they could just remove it and add some seats to generate more revenue because no one would miss this. Back in my seat, the crew has begun preparing my pre-arrival meal. They've creatively combined my special meal with a salad off the menu, creating this 10 out of 10 mountain of healthy deliciousness. I also ordered some french fries and a mango mocktail on the side, both of which are also great. This meal is far more impressive than the first, in my opinion. Just a few minutes after I finish my meal, we start our descent into Abu Dhabi. As a hotel fanatic, I suddenly realize, oh my god, I've only received one towel this entire flight and that was during boarding. Criminal! I'm joking. Kind of. The purser comes by to thank us for flying with Etihad and wishes us well, which is the cherry on top of a near perfect flight. Etihad's first class apartments are a completely unique experience. They have one of the best first class seats in the world on their A380, even 10 years after it was created. The onboard experience is so good in so many ways. Etihad doesn't have the fun offered by Emirates, but it has the luxury that its Emirati sister is sometimes lacking. All in all, what a flight and what a redemption. If you made it this far, that probably indicates you like videos like this, so why not consider hitting the subscribe button to be notified when I post more videos? Or if you want to hear some more in-depth, unscripted discussion, why not check out my brand new podcast, On Air with Dan and Alex. That's linked below, or you can click this end screen now to listen to our first episode. This is a podcast for anyone who likes aviation and travel and wants to connect with other people who share those interests in a fun and informative format. So hopefully I see you there, and until I see you next time here on this channel, fly safe.